Time to track down another project, and Drew's identified an underrated classic that he thinks could be about to rocket in price.
Right then, Paul, we're in Suffolk.
Rainy Suffolk.
And we are off to see a car that was, for me, an incredibly important and interesting car, and a thing of real engineering beauty.
What is it?
It's an NSU R080.
Oh, I love those.
Released in 1967, the German-built NSU Row 80 was a technical tour de force. The car featured a host of cutting-edge technology, and its advanced aerodynamic design influenced a whole generation of Audis after the two companies merged in 1969.
I don't believe there's that many left, is there?
40 left on the books.
That few?
Wow. That few.
It's a real chance to buy something nice, then.
But the problem is they're just not worth loads of money, and they really should be, because it's a 60s designer icon, right, that should be vaunted for what it really is.
Yeah.
It's been passed by.
Let's talk about one thing. Let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Yes, the engine.
The engine.
Nestled under the Row 80's bonnet was the revolutionary Wankel rotary engine. Using spinning rotors rather than pistons, the Wankel was smoother, lighter, and could spin faster than a traditional engine. But poorly maintained rotaries were prone to fail, which they did in their thousands. The problem was so widespread that passing Row 80 drivers would greet each other by indicating how many replacement engines they'd had.
They're relatively simple, but you have to take everything out and you do have to go to a specialist. And that was the problem with these cars. People didn't take them to specialists. They went to their local backstreet garage and they didn't know how to look after them, and that's what killed so many of them.
All of this beautiful Teutonic bliss, do you know how much they're asking?
Go on.
8 grand.
They're cheap, aren't they?
They're cheap.
Really, really cheap.
They're not even just good value, it's dirt cheap.
The boys are on their way to meet Row 80 collector Phil Blake.
I bought my first Row 80 when I was 16. I paid £200 for it, and I've never looked back, really.
With 29 Row 80s and counting, Phil owns around 2/3 of the cars in the UK. And many have been rescued from the scrap heap.
One of the things I love so much about when a Row 80 comes in is bringing them back to life. You know, the mechanics said the engine's knackered on it, and then you have a look through it and generally always get them started. And a lot of the time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with them.
Hello, Phil. I'm Paul.
Nice to meet you.
Are you doing all right?
Hi, nice to meet you.
And you. Come on then, I can't wait any
I
longer.
know.
Ooh!
Whoa!
That's the best looking garage I've seen in decades.
We've opened this door, my jaw has literally hit the floor. There's 2 cars in there that are just breaking the rareometer. There's a Mazda Cosmo.
It's just all the styling cues from the first generation Corvette, isn't it? It really is.
In the corner is the car that shouldn't technically exist, GS Birotor. So Citroen's GS with a Wankel Birotor engine that was so bad, Citroen brought them all back. And there's one sitting in the corner with 5,000 miles on it. Never seen that.
I really, really want this. Can I have this?
And there in the middle is this perfect, beautifully presented, wonderful colour, Row 80.
Oof, that's sexy. I haven't seen one of these in an awful long time. Now, looking at them, you think, what a brilliant piece of design. What an absolute joy to look at.
Would you mind if we get it out in the fresh air so we
Yeah,
can
sure,
walk
yeah.
around it?
Yeah.
Such a great shape. Now, this design, in parts, it's all over the place. It's got little bits of France. It's got little bits of Italy thrown in there. Look at that. Look how elegant that is. But it's very, very similar to Italian desk lamps.
Yes.
From the 1960s.
I'm sure that's what the Germans were thinking.
I've fallen in love with this thing. What is it about it? It's just fabulous.
But while Drew is busy drinking in the design, Paul's got some serious inspecting to do.
Very nice underneath. Normally when Drew gets excited about a car, and he is excited about this, I have to temper his enthusiasm with the worry of potentially big bills. This is remarkable in here, isn't it? Unbelievably clean. It looks beautiful, the paint's nice, the interior is practically perfect. The wheels are good, the engine bay's good. Where do I go from there? There's not much to do, is there?
But no car is perfect.
There's a big dent in the wing here, Paul, that he's doing.
Oh, yeah. We need to paint that. That's a bit of a shame.
And that dent isn't the only issue. The Row 80's aluminium trim has lost its sheen.
So this here is just starting to cloud, so whether that'll polish up, I don't know. Round the window trims, the door frames, are these beautiful polished, then anodised trims, which are starting to bloom and scratch up. So I think we can get some value back there. We can make them look better.
The way to make money out of this car is to buy it, get it absolutely bang on, and then don't sell it for a while, because they're only going to have to go up. But we've got to add the value now, and on this one, it's tough.
So far, Paul hasn't found anything to trouble the workshop, but he still needs to fire up that infamous Wankel engine.
Would you mind if we took it for a spin?
Yeah, of course.
The problem with this engine is that NSU had to rush it out. They didn't want any of their licensees to get their cars out first. And what they didn't perfect were the seals on the edges of the rotor. Because they don't make a perfect seal on the early cars, they had hundreds and thousands of warranty claims, and that's what killed the car. Such a great sounding engine, isn't it?
The Wankel may sound great, but with replacement rotary engines costing around £3,500, Paul wants to give the car a thorough test drive.
Just listen. How quiet is that? It drives like a modern car.
What size engine? What's the displacement of this?
This is a 995cc, so it's not exactly a very big engine, but I tell you what...
I know, it's got the pull of a 2 litre, hasn't it?
It really has.
Paul's happy with how the Row 80 drives, so now it's Drew's turn.
Oh, isn't it fab? What a fun thing. This is just one of those oddball cars that you think, I could drive this all the time, I could drive this forever.
Yeah, you could.
What a revelation.
What a revolution.
You may have noticed that the number plates are incorrect.
Yes, a bit late, aren't they?
Can we put some of the pressed letters on this thing, please?
Isn't
I want
it?
those on it. Tart up the bits we need doing on the wheels and the body, and some cassettes. I'd love to get a bit of craft work in there.
But before they get too carried away, Paul wants to make sure the numbers add up.
It's up at 8, which I don't think is outrageous to you for the condition of the car. I think you need to haggle him down to 7.5. And then I think I could do this car for £1,000, 8.5 grand, make it really nice. I think it will sell, and I think actually if we're brave and we advertise it internationally, we might tip into the 5 figures.
What a great car. Great car.
You have to drive them too.
These are like the classic car secret that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Everybody should have one. Well, I think really we'd love to buy it. You're asking 8, so we've got a little bit of wiggle room, pays for our day, 7.5, and we'll be really happy to own it.
Drew and Paul have travelled to Suffolk to test drive a super rare NSU Row 80.
Just listen. How quiet is that?
The boys know that it's a great car, and the seller's £8,000 asking price reflects that. So Drew could have a tough time haggling him down.
Well, I think really we'd love to buy it. You're asking 8, so we've got a little bit of wiggle room, pays for our day, 7.5, and we'll be really happy to own it. Yeah,
That's the deal.
marvellous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Phil.
It's not often that this has happened to me when I've just gone, I think I could drive that car forever. I don't really need to buy anything else. Buy one of those, done. It's the perfect classic car.
There's actually not a lot wrong with this car. The engine's brilliant, so that's a massive relief. My only worry is how do we add value to this car because it's really nice. I think sort the dent in the wing, get the trim polished, make it one of the nicest in the country. There's only 40, remember. Do all that, I think it's a 5-figure car.
With the NSU safely back at the workshop, the boys painstakingly removed the trim.
It's so easy to bend it.
But Drew's forging ahead with another detail for the NSU and is on his way to Sheffield to source a very particular accessory.
I'm a bit of a number plate obsessive. I think you should really go for it with number plates because it's one of those things, it's incredibly cheap to do and it changes the look of the entire car.
Established in 1894, Jepsons have been making number plates since the dawn of motoring, and 125 years later, Claire and Lisa, who work in the company's vintage division, still use traditional techniques to create plates for classic cars.
Well, you think you're setting off with a blank piece of aluminium, and then at the end of the day, you've got a sparkly black and silver number plate. Skill, I think.
Yeah, we are skilled. Yeah.
Hello. Drew.
Hiya, I'm
How you
Lisa.
doing?
Nice to meet you.
Believe you've going to make me some plates today.
I am.
Lisa and her team make each plate to order, and Drew has a clear idea of what he'd like.
Pressed plates.
Yeah.
With the black background. Yeah?
Yeah.
Can I have 2 of those, please, front and back?
Oblongs.
Oblong.
Polished borders.
Polished borders. Yeah, we'll have all of that. I'm a bit obsessed with number plates. I am.
Most our customers
Yeah.
are.
Starting with a flat piece of aluminium, Lisa uses a special tool to crimp the edges.
Oh, yes. Yep, lovely.
The digits will then be pressed in using cast iron number and letter blocks.
You can see the wear. Look at the wear on them.
They're very worn.
Some of the plates inside are from the 20s and 30s. So these have done ancient plates for, well, nearly 100 years now. Amazing. That's the number.
Cool.
The blocks of numbers and letters are placed into a special rack and must be positioned with pinpoint accuracy.
Right, so I've got my measurements here.
Yeah.
That tells me my spacing.
Right. One letter just too close or just too far apart can throw the whole thing out and it'll look really cheap and nasty and wrong. And all you'll see when you walk up to that car for the first time, you go, that number plate's wrong.
There we go.
Oh, yes. Now you're talking. I shouldn't be as excited as I am. I know, it's mad, isn't it? I just love it.
Once pressed, the plates are cleaned and degreased before being handed to Claire in the paint department.
So because you've got a border on, we're putting some tape on to protect it so that you get a nice silver edge.
Okay.
The plates are given a coat of paint, which will be baked on to harden. But before that, the black needs to be carefully removed from the letters and numbers.
How are you going to do that without smudging all the paint? I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it is what we call blocking off. So that
Is that slate?
No, it's a piece of wood. It's just a random piece of wood in a cloth,
Right.
folded up. So we use cellulose thinners and we wipe it off.
Oh, look at that. That is the magic moment. That's brilliant. Do it again, do it again. It's a bit of magic. It's fantastic. Just the right amount of pressure. Love it. Handmade number plates. Very
my
nice.
rack, and they go in oven.
That's great. How much does it cost to have handmade number plates just for you? £50 the pair. £50 for that. Incredible. Very nice. Thank you very much. We'll wrap those up, take them away.
There you go.
Thank you. Perfect.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye. The care and time that have gone into that number plate has to go into the rest of the car as well. Making sure the bumper's dead straight. The tyres are all the same, even, blown up the same. All these details matter. They matter to me.
Paul's also focused on making the NSU shine, so he's heading to the Midlands to deal with the Row 80's faded aluminium trim.
I found a great company in Birmingham, and I've had all the trim taken off. The lads in the workshop have done that. We've sent it on ahead. And we're going to meet a guy called Andrew, who's been brilliant on the phone, and he's hopefully going to sort it all out.
Paul's meeting Andrew Law from Badger Anodizing, who offer a one-stop solution for anyone wanting to breathe new life into ageing aluminium.
What I like about what I do is the fact that you start with something that looks really down, tired, and then we go through all our processes to make them all look really fresh, cosmetically good, and they do look really nice.
Andrew.
Hi, Paul.
Hey, mate, you all right?
Not too bad, you?
Good to see you.
Yes.
It's all arrived all right then?
Yes, all here.
On this car, the bodywork's lovely, and all of this aluminium is questionable. It's a little bit marked, scratched, all that kind of stuff. What is the process?
At the moment, these are got an anodised film on.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is go back to raw aluminium, and at that stage, then we can polish it. Would you just strip these off for me, mate, please?
The first job is to take the delicate aluminium trims and strip them back to bare metal by dipping them into a strong alkaline solution.
It's quite intrusive to the aluminium, but the end result, you straight away see everything that's under that old coating comes immediately to the surface.
That's okay.
Oh, you can really see the damage, can't you now?
Yeah.
It's not going to be an easy job, this, is it?
No. Might need to put the price up.
You haven't told me what it is yet.
Still guessing.
The next stage is to polish out the scratches and imperfections. This is a job that needs a gentle touch, as the trims are thin and can be easily damaged.
Look at the difference between those two. Look, that is unbelievable. You can see straight away on those extruded window trims, it's a massive improvement.
Last is the process known as anodizing, which is designed to stop the aluminium from corroding.
So now you've had a chance to do a couple of bits then.
Yeah.
Can you give me now a bit of a steer on price? Because...
Yeah, I would have said you wouldn't get no change for £1,000.
OK, it's not a small number, but the car, I think, will benefit massively from having all this stuff done. So, thank you.
No problem.
All right, there's no other way to do it properly. If you want this car to have all the right bits in the correct finish, it has to be anodised. You know, these are the best guys to do it.
Work is also progressing on the boys' Fiat 500. Having been fully repaired, the body shell is now getting its coat of designer black paint. But Drew's had an idea for another stylish touch.
I've got this design sort of idea that I want for the dashboard, as it just looked a bit too...
In Oxfordshire, work on the NSU is well underway. At the body shop, the dented front wing has been repaired, and with a fresh coat of paint, it looks as good as new. Having been delivered to the workshop, Drew's hand-stamped number plates take pride of place. And the car can now be reunited with its freshly anodised aluminium trim. NSU's rotary engine Super Saloon is ready to roll once again.
Oh, look at that. That is a good-looking car.
Hello, mate.
Hi, how are you?
Another treasure complete.
That's looking good, isn't it?
It was a great car to start with, wasn't it? But it just looks absolutely beautiful. Love your number plates, by the way. Great touch.
Yeah. Just a nice little touch. That is a handmade piece.
It just finishes the car. And then the other side of the wing, you've obviously got your repair. All the paintwork's done. It looks amazing. Inside, as you know, was already lovely, but please notice.
Yeah, what have you done to this? You polished it.
Anodised. This is correct as it would have been done in period. All anodised trim, all perfect, all immaculate.
I do think by doing what we've done, we've just enhanced those details, having the trim repolished, and that's how it should be, and that makes it more saleable.
Now, money-wise,
Yeah.
the car was £7.5 grand.
Yeah.
1,500 quid covers everything you see we've done to it.
Yeah.
Car now owes you 9 grand.
Yeah.
Spoken to Phil, who obviously knows more than anybody in the world about these cars. He reckons it's an easy 12 grand, and if you hold out and you can sit, maybe even 12.5.
Happy days.
Mission statement was, make this the best in the marketplace. And I think if you look carefully, we're pretty much there. This has got to be in the top 2% of cars for sale, and because of that, it will make top money.
And Paul was spot on. 3 days after going on sale, the NSU was snapped up for a tidy £11,500.